Plaintiff Rita Brown is dating the defendant's niece, and she says for the past 7 months, the defendant has harassed her and even got her fired from her job. Rita's suing her today for breach of contract, defamation, and harassment. Defendant Sandra Harper says Rita's relationship with her niece is extremely volatile, and they're constantly getting into heated arguments. Sandra denies harassing Rita, and she's countersuing for breach of contract.
Tell me what happened.
For the past 7 months, Your Honor, this lady, Sandra Harper, has gone to extreme measures to make my life a living hell. She sent me spam mail from sex websites, spam mail borrow $3,000, even gone to the extreme of contacting third parties, making allegations. She's contacted FEMA, unemployment. She's contributed to me being terminated from my employment.
Why did she do all this?
Angry.
About what?
Me and her niece were in a relationship. It was a tumultuous breakup. We ended up getting back together, and it's like since we've been back together, she has been relentless at keeping confusion going.
What does her niece say?
I got a statement from her niece about all of it. We're still together at this point.
You can tell me.
Her niece is saying that it doesn't make sense. Her niece has stated even to her that it's unnecessary, and she doesn't know what it's motivated by.
She's lying.
Okay, ma'am.
She's lying. First of all, Your Honor, this Rita is a liar. She's a thief. She's a vindictive bully. She wished my niece would catch AIDS and die. You know, their relationship is tumultuous, you know, because there's always something, pouring bleach on each other's things, you know, laying across the car so that my niece can't get out of the driveway. I have not even physically talked to this lady since December. I have no idea what she's talking about.
You haven't done any of the things she's alleging?
Well, when I first met her, she was the one, is how I know that she's a liar. She is the one. She was sitting in the car with us, texting one of her exes.
Let me just go back to the same question. You don't have any idea about any things that she has just alleged? You didn't do any of those things?
No, sir.
All right.
No,
you
sir.
say you don't have any idea. Does that mean you haven't been told about these things before?
Well, yes, sir. I have been hearing about them. But first of all, I wasn't even in Florida from July
We don't
until
have to get
just
into
recently.
the specifics. You said you have never done any of this, so we're going to go ahead and back to her and proceed with the other parts. I mean, if you've never done it, that's an easy response.
Right.
All right.
She wished my niece would catch AIDS and die. You know, their relationship is tumultuous, you know, because there's always something, pouring bleach on each other's things, you know, laying across the car so that my niece can't get out of the driveway. I have no idea what she's talking about.
You haven't done any of the things she's alleging?
Well,
Plaintiff Rita Brown is suing her girlfriend's aunt because she claims she's been harassing her, and she even got her fired from her job.
She says she hasn't done any of this to you. Now, do you have any evidence that she's done this to you?
Yes, I do,
Has she been
Your Honor.
convicted of anything?
She hasn't been convicted at this point because of the content.
What is your evidence? What type of evidence do you have?
I have letters from my employer
Saying
where
what?
she called, stating that she called, making allegations.
Let's see it from
I
your
didn't call and make allegations.
from the employer.
Your Honor, I inquired. I inquired.
You said you did none of what she accused you of.
No, as far as
First thing
the
she
other.
shows me evidence of, now you remember.
Well, I thought you meant about the harassment
I said
and the email.
anything.
I'm
I
sorry.
said it twice.
I'm sorry.
I know you are. This is to Rita Brown Outreach. You gave me a letter in which you appeared to document a discussion regarding a phone call I received about you. And I repeat again, I will not give you a written statement about the call, nor am I getting involved in discussion with you in what is clearly a personal conflict with an individual outside the realm of your employment. My position is not changed by your written request, and I am further troubled that I must take time to respond to your letter in writing. I did advise you that another comprehensive background check would be completed, and if any charges of domestic violence or restraining order were found, you would be terminated. All right. What else? Let's get to the breach of contract. How does she owe you for that?
Ms. Harper purchased furniture from me back in November. We agreed about the payment and the price on the furniture. Ms. Harper followed that up with a notarized letter stating how much she was to pay for the furniture and how many payments. And she numbered each check that she sent me for the furniture, 1 of 5, 2 of 5.
Right, ma'am, what do you say about the furniture? How much do you say she owes,
on,
ma'am?
Your Honor.
Hold on a second. How much does she owe for the furniture you allege?
There's a remainder of $400 today.
Ma'am?
What we agreed on was $1,500 until she delivered the furniture to my house. Then she wanted $1,800 because she told me she had just bought the furniture. She paid $3,000 for it. The furniture was 2 years old, finna be 3 in February when I came home, and she did not pay $3,000 for the furniture, and the furniture was not leather. It was supposed to be 4 pieces of furniture. She delivered 3 pieces of the furniture and then gave the chair to my niece. And when I asked my niece, how you got my chair? Rita gave me the chair. How she gave you the chair and she's making me pay for it?
That's not true.
All right. You said all that in the letter to her, but in that same letter, you said, I'll pay for it anyway. Okay. You remember that?
No, sir.
All right, let me refresh your memory with this. I am paying you just as we agreed.
I said I was paying her. That was
as we
before
agreed.
Right,
just as we agreed.
Right, but I
now
also
you're
told
saying
her,
you're not. When in fact, everything you just repeated, being shortchanged, this and that and the other, you have that in that same letter. And then you say, however, I'm paying you as agreed. What's your defamation for?
She's contacted my employer.
We got that part, man.
Okay. She's contacted, which I have a letter stating where she contacted FEMA alleging fraud. I was residing in Maywood.
How do you know she did it?
She stated she did. I have a letter
Let's see it, please.
that she sent me that states she did.
No, she's lying. She's lying. I never told her anything about FEMA because I didn't know about FEMA until this recent breakup and the chair.
It's on your letterhead again, and you say through FEMA and there's an open investigation.
I told her that there was an open investigation. I didn't tell her
your
that I
counterclaim
called
for $2,700. How does she owe you for breach of contract?
Because we agreed on 4 pieces of furniture. I only got 3 pieces of the furniture. Okay.
You acknowledge that in this letter, but yet you tell her you're going to pay. Is that the only breach of contract you're referring to?
That's the only agreement that we have.
That's the breach of contract you're referring
Yes,
to?
sir.
Okay, in this letter, you acknowledge you only received 3 pieces of furniture, but you say you're going to pay it all anyway. Therefore, I'm going to grant her judgment for her furniture, and that is for $400. By calling her boss, that is certainly something that is harmful and harassing to her. I'll grant her $1,000 for that. And with regard to the defamation of character, you put it on your letterhead in writing, discussing FEMA and telling her that you had an open investigation in process. I'll grant her $1,000 for that. Your judgment being $2,400 today, and yours being dismissed. Have a good day.
She's a liar, and just because I mentioned those things to her didn't say that I was the one that did it. She's the one that's in the fraudulent activity. She's the one that agreed to sell me 4 pieces of furniture and then only gave me 3. I don't have anything to do with who my niece is with. That's between them. If they want to kick each other's teeth out and play rock'em sock'em robot with each other, that's them. That has nothing to do with me.